What is going on, guys? Welcome back. Man, I've been like in a weird place the last 48 hours. So, I did the interview with Rex. And during the interview, his son comes in. And his son doesn't care that dad is doing an interview. His son wants to see his father. And he says, "Good night, Dad." And he says it twice until Rex basically acknowledges, his son, which is fine. I love those moments. I don't have a problem with that, but it brings context to the situation. So, there is a child saying goodnight to his father, and that's all he knows, is Rex is my dad. 35 minutes later, we are talking about legitimate death threats that Rex had received, not just threatening him, but also his family over Madden. And of course, this is just weeks before the tragedy that occurred. So there's not just legitimacy to those in terms of the information the individual was providing, and I'll upload the clips so you can hear Rex describe it for himself. But there's also some validation later on, now that we all know what actually took place. So, if you put this into perspective of the Madden tournament over the weekend, which was, I'll just say it, an embarrassment. I don't know who this Skimbo guy is. I know that he thinks a lot of people know who he is, and I know he thinks very highly of himself because during this broadcast, he is screaming, "You know who I am, you know who you're playing, you won't get in my head." You're an adult playing a video game, is who you are. Just like every other one of us. When he's playing a 17-year-old, and I'm not trying to talk down to that 17-year-old, but the context of this is an adult is talking to a 17-year-old. They just happen to be playing a video game. No matter what walk of life we're in, age is a relevant perspective as to the individuals involved. He is yelling at him. "You won't get in my head. Do you know who you're playing? I'm going to grow you up today. I'm going to grow you up today." No one grows up during the course of playing a video game, whether it's a tournament or not. We can't in one breath respect the legacy of people that were murdered attempting to get to this point in a tournament, and then allow someone to bully the other publicly in a tournament in a way that anyone that looks at it has one of two reactions. Number one, they find it comical because this is how someone would carry themselves on national television. Or two, they find it embarrassing because this is how an individual would carry himself on national television. We have people that will DM me, for example, threats, and then never actually live up to those threats when given the opportunity. I'm a grown man. I have no problems meeting someone if you really want to meet. Don't threaten that action and then not be available for it when it takes course. And I know this is going to be an unpopular sentiment, but I've been involved in a lot of gaming communities. I've been involved in a lot of communities, actually. Racing communities, football communities, MMA communities. The Madden community is the only one that seems to have this issue. And I'm starting to wonder if it isn't EA's problem. Because way too many gamers have been given this mindset that Madden is a game of skill. And anyone who watches the footage or plays this game knows immediately that it is not a game of skill. It is a game that's quality specifically amounts to a dice roll determining who wins and loses. And that's why, to me, it's so ironic when people look back at the video from over the weekend and say, what brought that anger on? What was the trash talk that insinuated him to stand up and start yelling at a child? The answer was, the kid said something to the effect of, "Madden gives and Madden takes." Now, if you've played Madden, there's nothing more accurate to describe how Madden functions than Madden gives and Madden takes. And anyone that would get mad at that statement honestly doesn't comprehend the game that they're playing. Because for years, not just myself, but many people have made videos about those contexts of Madden cheats you as a game. Madden controls the outcome of games. Madden scripts games. Search all of those on YouTube and you'll find a day and a half of nonstop videos of people articulating and describing and showcasing and leaving very little doubt that Madden is a scripted game. In fact, Madden is promoting, in a way, its scripting next year by augmenting animations for players once milestones are reached. So it was strange to me that all this kind of comes to fruition. You've got people that are so passionate about a game, they're willing to threaten the life of a developer, a designer, and their family. You've got individuals that were so passionate about gaming that they do the unthinkable. And you've still got in the same year people willing to make a fool of themselves against another competitor on TV. The common denominator in all that is Madden. And I think a more quality product, a more competitive-based product, a game that more lends itself to fair and balanced competition may not have these issues. Love to know your thoughts on all this. Appreciate you checking out. I will be back very shortly with more commentary.